Creator Joey Garrity. I empower women entrepreneurs by sharing influence solutions on my show, SWE Spotlight with Joie. Hi everyone. Welcome to SWE Spotlight with Joie. I'm Joey Garrity, and you can find out more about me at joeyg113.com. I'm a content creator. I'm also the founder of SWE Media, and I have a digital magazine, and I'm an author of 2 different books, Being Your Own Superstar and The Red Carpet Guide to Visibility Influence. And I'll put those links down in the comment section as well. And you can find these on Amazon. I am a huge fan of realtors, and I met an amazing one when I was out in New Braunfels, Texas, and I wanted to have her on the show. A little bit about her. Well, actually, you're in the right place if you're here to learn how to pursue your passions fearlessly with real estate agent Lindsay Semper. And I am a huge fan of doing things fearlessly, and I know it takes courage, and that's why I wanted to have her on the show, because we can all use some courage and some inspiration. A little bit about her is that Lindsay is a real estate agent with a passion and um, deep helping others, deep interest in helping others grow their business, develop their identity in their community, and build a life without fear or apprehension and taking risk, right? And we all need that. And so that's why I'm having her on the show. So I'm going to bring her up from the green room right now. Hi, sister. How are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good. I'm so glad that you came on the show. I do. I love realtors. Like, I love the whole, I like
Awesome.
that arena. I like anything about that arena. So when I met you, I wanted to for sure bring you on the show.
Thank
But
you.
what I really like about your shares, and we're going to jump right into them, is how you talk about being fearless.
Mhm.
And I'm telling you, that takes courage, sister. I know it takes courage. It does.
Yes, yes. And I think the funniest thing about being fearless is that even though you say you're fearless, there's still fear, right? Like there's still
Yes.
genuine,
Truth.
deep-seated anxiety, worry.
Truth.
It's still there. It's just a matter of pushing past the fear, uh, and having, like you said, the courage, the faith, the grace that
Yeah.
some of it might go wrong along the way, and that just
Yeah.
because it goes wrong or just because you hit obstacles doesn't mean that it's not meant to be. It just means it's it's just a hurdle that you have to overcome if that's truly what you're looking for and truly what you want.
Yeah, and I love that wisdom, and I do wanna just kinda, highlight something that you just mentioned about, that there will be obstacles, because there will.
Mhm.
There will be failure inside of the actual purpose. There's no way around that,
Right.
none. And once you make peace with that, it makes such a difference. It makes such a huge difference. I
Mhm.
love that wisdom of yours. That's why I put up the roll out the red carpet moment with that. I want to jump more into this, into your share, where you say stepping out of the shadows is still something that I feel I struggle with. It took me finding my business coach, Kirsten, right, who I love,
Yes.
adore
Yes.
her,
She's amazing.
to really feel confident and comfortable in naming what it was that I really wanted. I think, and here's another piece of wisdom I love of yours, is that you found a coach to help you through that.
Right. Yes.
Yeah,
Well, and I feel like, for me personally, in terms of my story and where what has brought me to today, and it's still part of the journey. I mean, I'm not completely away from. I still haven't found my exact path, right? I think we just all
yeah,
find different paths and move along them.
yeah, and that will
Um,
be forever,
yeah.
right?
So for me, there was always something, sitting back here saying, "This is what you want." Like I would see other women, that other real estate agents that were running teams or being in a realm that they were in, and admiring them
Yeah,
and wanting to emulate what they did,
yeah,
but always kind of being fearful that I didn't have the capability to do it. Right? There's no way that I could ever get to their level.
sure.
And so I had a lot of negative self-talk and a lot of narratives that I had discovered that had been built up over time, right?
Yeah,
That I hadn't really dug into because they come from your best friends and they come from your family and they come from your colleagues. And when you hear those things and you hear that same narrative over and over, you start to believe it.
oh,
You start
yeah,
to believe
yeah.
that, I don't need to be big. I don't need to chase the big dreams. Why can't you just be happy with what you have?
Oh, yeah, we hear that a lot.
all
Yeah.
the time.
Women hear that a lot. Yeah.
Right. And, and I have a lot to be grateful for. 3 children, beautiful children. I had a booming business. I was voted best of the best realtor 3 years in a row. So I have great things. It was just, Kirsten really helped me dig into what is it that you want, right?
Yeah.
These are all things that are great to put on your resume, and they're great to talk about, and they are things to be proud of. But what is it that you want?
Yeah.
And I really struggled with that. I could tell you all the things that I wanted in my business, but I had
Sure.
no idea what I wanted personally.
Yeah.
I avoided that question for quite some time until she sat down with me in front of me and said, "I'm not leaving until we complete this list."
Yes, no, I love it, I love it, and I have her on the cover of the SWE digital magazine in the impact issue. She's right here, and so I'm a huge fan as well. I totally agree that we don't always know what we want, but through the coaching component, right?
Mhm.
Or you know, or you read a book, sometimes those ahas will come around. I
Mhm.
wanna jump into your tip here. And I love this tip. It's take action. There will never be a perfect or opportune time to execute a plan or pursue a passion that you've always thought about doing. It's true. There
Mhm.
will never be that perfect time,
Mhm.
right?
And
I
we'll never be able to I'm sorry to cut you off. And there's never gonna be enough planning or preparation that is
never,
going to get you to a point where you feel like, "Okay, now I'm ready."
never,
Yeah.
never. Yeah,
Yeah.
you might as well just go for it. And I
Mhm.
think again, it just comes down to a matter of just knowing that there will be bumps, or we can call them failures, whatever, it doesn't matter, in the
Mhm.
road.
Mhm.
They will be there,
Right.
right? It's just a matter of perspective, and I do believe it's about putting another foot forward, right?
Mhm.
Foot
Mhm.
in front of
Right.
each other.
And there are some days where I literally just have to tell myself, just do it for one more day. Do it one more day.
Truth, truth. One
And
more minute, one more hour, one more
Mhm.
day,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah. And I really feel, a few years back in 2022, I decided to do a program called 75 Hard, which I don't know if you've heard of it, but essentially it's a reframing your brain program that gets you highly disciplined into activities on a daily basis for 75 days straight. And if you mess up on one activity of the 5 that you do every day, you start completely over. Well, I did it the whole way through, all 75 days, never had to start over, never missed a task, but it was grueling. It was grueling.
Yeah,
So, but that's honestly how I got through it. I said,
yeah,
don't worry about day 68 when you're on day 25.
yeah,
Worry about day 25. Let's get through today. And if you wake up tomorrow and you can still do it tomorrow, do it tomorrow. And I just kept that same mentality of just get a little bit, just go a little bit further today than you did yesterday.
yeah.
And the compounded efforts over time make huge results. We hear it all the time. It's just a matter of doing the little bit each day to get to where you want to be.
Well,
Uh,
yeah, because it can be very frustrating at times, right? Because when you're starting from scratch,
yes.
right, and you're not necessarily seeing the results yet,
Mhm.
it's
Mhm.
like a muscle. It's like working out, right? It's like
Yeah.
a muscle. It's like the muscle's just not strong enough. But I also talk about it in my second book about how it also comes down to if you are able to allow and receive and accept at that level yet.
Mhm.
I tell
Mhm.
people all the time, I say, "Listen, you might not be able to allow, receive, and accept that passion and dream right this second, but
Mhm.
keep building the muscle to do it,
Mhm.
right? And you will.
Right.
You
Right.
will.
Right.
You'll get there, right?"
Well, and I will say that one of the things that Kirsten was wonderful in doing and in stretching this one particular muscle for me was the reflective piece.
Mm.
As a high achiever, as an Enneagram 3, as a go-getter, like one of
Uh,
my mantras is I don't take no for an answer. I just
yeah.
don't, you know.
Yeah, I know all about
Tell me
that.
why. I didn't really understand the why. Um, but she was, but because of that, I'm constantly, what's next? what can I create? I love creating something from nothing. It's the coolest thing in
Yes.
the world. Like just to be able to have never had that be something in your world before, and now you create it. And in doing so, sometimes the things that you've created before never get acknowledgement.
Yeah,
They
no.
never get celebrated. And
Yeah,
because of that, you also don't necessarily internalize the lessons that were learned there
yeah,
either. And that was one thing that I feel like Kirsten did for me, greatly, was helped me to stop and reflect and analyze what had been done before and be able to learn from it. And that was one of the greatest gifts that I received from her, was seeing, when I took action on some of my goals and my dreams last year. Last year was a huge year for me in terms of change and branching out into the world and doing what it was that I wanted to pursue. And it was scary. It was extremely scary doing it all by myself. But what I found is that what I felt like was a start over, or a start from scratch, really wasn't.
yeah,
I could take what I had learned from the other experiences that I had been in, and
yeah,
instead of starting from here, you start from here and you can get here faster. So I
yeah.
just I love the aspect of reflection and, acknowledgement of what we've done before, and celebrate it.
Yeah, I just had someone on my show and we talked about not leaving your past behind and
Mhm,
how I'll find a lot of people out there don't wanna talk about their past,
mhm.
like these are in a new arena now.
Yes.
She was a nurse, but now she's a realtor,
Mhm,
right? And now she's fused the 2 together because she's working with a particular community,
mhm,
and I love that. I was just like, the whole idea of leaving that behind because you don't think that the dots connect isn't truth.
mhm,
The dots actually really connect,
mhm,
right?
mhm.
And so it's very interesting to connect the dots out there.
Yes.
I'm gonna share my share here. For years, I hid in the shadows behind others who were fearlessly pursuing their passions and making them superstars. It was my shield from stepping into my own spotlight. Yes, I did that for years,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
Because I was very uncomfortable stepping into my own spotlight, but making everyone else a star was easy,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But that's a big part of my life lesson is that I every day I my daily habits help me stretch and grow to stand in a bigger spotlight,
Mhm,
right? And
mhm.
it, and I don't I'm not shaming my past, right?
Right.
I had to go through that in order to identify my true life purpose today,
Mhm,
right? And
mhm.
I'm really happy I helped a lot of people become stars,
Yes.
right? But I do wanna encourage everyone out there to step into their own spotlight. What is something that has surprised you on this journey?
That I didn't have as many boundaries as I thought I did.
Yes.
Right. I thought that, going back to Kirsten's coaching and how influential it was in my life, I coached with her for a little over a year. There were some things that I identified as far as my core values, and
Yeah,
my core values are connection, service, and productivity. And so, one of the things that brings joy to my world is being able to serve others and serve them in all kinds of capacities.
sure.
And what I found was that over coaching and over time was that the my love of serving could also teeter into people pleasing,
Right.
accommodating,
Oh, yeah.
um, uh, lowering my boundaries to allow for others to be happy, to be successful, like we talked about,
Yeah.
to help highlight them and lift them up. And I realized that, that serving aspect, though it does bring me joy and fill my cup, could also be a huge energy suck as well.
Yes. True.
And yeah, and so I've spent decades allowing people to mistreat me, right? Not intentionally or unintentionally.
Sure.
It's no
I
fault of
get
their
it.
own. It's my boundaries that I wasn't asserting. And I have found that that's been a big adjustment for me, is not only asserting the boundary, but sticking to it. The
Oh, I
sticking to
love
the
that.
boundaries.
I love that wisdom. I wanna end the show on that. That's fantastic
Yeah.
wisdom. It's awesome. I so appreciate you, sister. I love you. I love you. I love you. And I
Thank you.
appreciate you. Thank you for joining me today. And you keep shining bright out there.
Thank
I'm
you
going
so
to drop
much.
you down in the green room. Go grab yourself a mocktail. Isn't she great? That's fantastic. Great wisdom, right? Like, yes, everyone watch the people pleasing. Until next time, you guys can find me every Thursday, Superstar Women Entrepreneurs at Pacific Coast time at 9 a.m. Until then, I always end it like this: it is literally your birthright to stand in your spotlight and share your gifts and talents with the world. I love you. I love you. I love you. And I appreciate you. Bye-bye, everyone. You can learn more about me, my services, and products at joeyg113.com. Make sure to join me every week on the SWE Media Network YouTube channel and wherever you listen to podcasts.